Scotland is at war. The land is torn by rebellion, its fields soaked with blood, its future uncertain. Battles rage beyond the hills, and news travels slowly, carried by wounded soldiers and exhausted messengers. At the centre of this chaos is Macbeth, a nobleman and warrior of fearsome reputation. He fights for King Duncan with ruthless courage, cutting down traitors and driving back invading forces. When the battle ends, victory belongs to Scotland, and Macbeth's name is praised above all others. For brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name. But even as honour is spoken, something darker is already stirring. On a desolate heath, beneath a sky heavy with cloud and mist, 3 strange figures meet. Their faces are weathered, their voices sharp and knowing. They speak of fate, of what has been and what is yet to come. Fair is foul, and foul is fair. As thunder rolls, Macbeth and his companion Banquo cross the heath. They encounter the 3 figures who greet Macbeth with titles that seem impossible. They call him Thane of Glamis, which he is. They call him Thane of Cawdor, which he is not. And then they speak words that strike at the centre of him. They call him King. Banquo laughs at this madness, but the witches turn to him as well, promising that though he will not be king himself, his sons will be. Before either man can question them further, the witches vanish. Almost immediately, messengers arrive from King Duncan. Macbeth is named Thane of Cawdor, rewarded for his loyalty in battle. The witches' words have come true. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man. Macbeth's mind races. What was fantasy now feels dangerously real. The idea of kingship, once unthinkable, takes root. That night, Macbeth writes to his wife. Lady Macbeth reads the letter in their castle at Inverness. She knows her husband, brave in battle, yet hesitant in ambition. She fears he is too full of the milk of human kindness to seize the crown. She calls upon dark forces to strip her of softness and hesitation. Come, you spirits, that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. When King Duncan announces he will stay the night at Inverness, Lady Macbeth sees opportunity made perfect. She resolves that Duncan will never leave the castle alive. Macbeth struggles. He knows Duncan is his king, his guest, and a good ruler. He lists every reason not to act. He's here in double trust. First as I am his kinsman and his subject, then as his host. Who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. But Lady Macbeth presses him. She questions his courage, his manhood, his resolve. Under her relentless words, Macbeth yields. I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Night falls. Duncan sleeps. As Macbeth moves through the darkened halls, his mind fractures. He sees a dagger before him, floating in the air, its blade pointing toward Duncan's chamber. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, of false creation, proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalledst me the way that I was going, and such an instrument was I to use. Mine eyes are made of fools o'er the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There is no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Whether vision or imagination, the dagger leads him on. Macbeth murders the king. The act is swift, brutal, and irreversible. Macbeth returns, hands soaked in blood, shaken and broken by what he has done. Lady Macbeth smears the guards with blood and places the daggers in their hands. Morning comes. Duncan's body is discovered. Horror spreads through the castle. Macbeth kills the guards in a show of rage. Duncan's sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, flee in fear for their lives. With the heirs gone, suspicion follows them. Macbeth is crowned King of Scotland, but the crown brings no peace. Banquo remembers the witch's words. He watches Macbeth carefully.
Thou hast it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis, all, as the weird women promised.
Macbeth, tormented by the thought of Banquo's sons inheriting the throne, hires murderers to kill Banquo and his son Fleance. The ambush succeeds only in part. Banquo is murdered. Fleance escapes. That night at a royal banquet, Macbeth tries to appear every inch a king, but as the feast begins, Banquo's ghost appears, visible only to Macbeth. The ghost sits in Macbeth's place. Macbeth's composure collapses. He speaks to the empty air. Lady Macbeth desperately tries to explain away his behaviour.
Are you a man?
What? Quite unmanned in folly?
This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan.
Oh, these floors and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorised by her grandam.
Shame itself. Why do you make such faces?
But the damage is done. Macbeth knows he is no longer safe. He returns to the witches. They show him visions. They warn him to beware Macduff. They tell him that no man born of woman shall harm him. They promise he will not fall until Birnam Wood comes to Dunsinane. Macbeth takes comfort in these riddles.
Then live, Macduff.
What need I fear of thee? Still, he orders Macduff's castle attacked. Macduff's wife and children are slaughtered. In England, Malcolm and Macduff prepare to challenge Macbeth. When Macduff learns of his family's deaths, grief hardens into resolve.
Front to front, bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself.
Lady Macbeth begins to unravel. Sleep abandons her. Guilt seeps into her dreams. She walks the castle at night, rubbing her hands as though washing them.
Out, damned spot! Out, I say!
Macbeth receives word that an army approaches. Soldiers advance, bearing branches cut from Birnam Wood. The prophecy is fulfilled. Lady Macbeth dies. Macbeth meets the news with numb despair.
Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle.
Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. The final battle comes. Macbeth fights fiercely, clinging to the witch's promise that no man born of woman can kill him. Then Macduff reveals the truth. He was not born. He was torn from his mother's womb. The final prophecy breaks. Macbeth is killed. Malcolm is crowned king. Scotland breathes again. The tyrant is dead, and the story ends.